Okay, I'm back with a sidekick today. This is my emotional support chicken. I am here today to talk to you on my channel about Elegance. I know, surprising. But I wanted to talk a little bit more about why Elegance will not make you popular and why you should go ahead and embark on that journey anyway. So let's get started, shall we? By the way, don't judge me. I love parakeets. I love birds. Tropical little creatures. This is my little... I'm such a weirdo. I'm so sorry. Just in case I haven't introduced my assistant, this is Velmon. He is a very sweet English parakeet. Truth be told, this animal actually does inspire me. I know it makes me sound like a horse girl, but listen for a second. This little creature has a very big personality. In fact, he is one of the most pretentious animals, as crazy as that sounds, that I've ever met in my life. He is a very graceful bird. And this is what I want us to pull inspiration from. This is nature. Nature is beautiful, holy, wholesome. This animal does not pluck out half of its feathers to prove its point. Human beings are much more complex emotionally. And when we get to the point of needing to constantly reiterate our expression, our thoughts,
I need to know why this happened. Let's talk about it. If you don't know what this comment is referencing, it is referencing my transformation from basic Instagram model girly to now. So let's go back to the beginning. Since I was a kid, I've been pretty heavily bullied. I've been locked in the boys' bathroom, got trash thrown at me, fake assed out, all of it.
That is a huge factor in what influences us. And you can say you're above it. Maybe in some ways you are, but if you are consuming it all the time, you've already been influenced. This was created, you were influenced, and now you're a part of it. Now you're sucked in this matrix. The influence that social media has, now that we're admitting that we are sucked into this matrix, the influence that it has on us is kind of interesting because it is a little bit different for every person. The algorithm of whatever app you're on will definitely tailor things to your already personal interests, but it also will throw in a few random radical ideas with a specific intention to see how you react and respond. All of that being said, what I'm getting at is that you are influenced by your environment, and something that your environment is telling you is that you need to constantly put your merits out there. This is something really old-fashioned, but do not be too hasty. It's hard with social media, please. I know. Trust me, if you're a content creator as well, it's hard not to. Shouting your own praises is actually the most unimpressive thing you can do.
I like it, and I said, well, what color's your baguette?
But when you're online, it's hard to wait, you know, and not just overshare and over-explain and express yourself probably way too much. The point that I'm getting at is, due to this, we do see a huge uprise in non-like 80s rebellious, I don't know, not that vibe. The vibe that is happening right now is people are shaving half of their heads. I mean, they've been doing it. I'm not saying it's new. They are, you know, I'm not trying to be mean, but when they do not have a body that fits into a certain outfit, they are allowing it to spill out of their outfit, male or female. It happens more with females, I feel like, because females tend to be more into fashion and they're like trying to make a point with their fashion and express a point, an emotion. And that just tells me that you are struggling in your mind. But what you're trying to convey is that you are above something. You are above the social normal judgment that exists whether we like it or not. And you're not. and you will experience people looking at you twice. And do they have a right to say something mean? That would be a no. They don't have a right to say something mean, but they may, and you can't control that. But what you can control is presenting yourself in a dignified fashion. And I'm aware that when I am all dressed up, especially in the city I live in, I complain about it all the time. Don't worry, I'm gonna leave. I'm not just gonna stay. I'm not specifically trying to complain, but in Seattle, it is one of the worst dressed, laziest dressed, comfiest states. I mean, Washington is the state, but Portland's really bad too. But I feel like Seattle and Portland are one and the same. When I am dressed up, people are looking at me sideways. When I'm in an appropriate environment, I would think to be dressed up. It's not just myself, my husband as well. One thing he says is that he kind of gets a kick out of people. Sorry I'm shifting so much, by the way. I'm really dizzy right now. I'll be fine, but I'm really just trying not to fall over. He actually says he gets a kick out of people looking at him sideways when he's dressed up, judging him or being mad about it. Like, he gets a kick out of it. And as smug and arrogant as that attitude may seem to some, I mean, it's not really a bad way to handle that criticism. I mean, if you have your hair green, black, yellow, mixed, unwashed, and you wear the same sweatpants every single day, you want to be odd, you want to be unusual, you want to be edgy, you want to express yourself. You want to show everyone how mad you are on your hair, shaving half of your head, and you don't like when they don't like it. You don't like when they're looking at you sideways. So you're mad and you complain about that. Well, the opposite happens as well. When you are dressed nice, when you do put in effort, people also will look at you sideways for a different reason. They will automatically make so many assumptions about you. There is something about people who remember certain rules of the past. Like, by rules I mean etiquette. The way you dress when you go to a nice establishment, the way that you carry yourself, and the volume that you keep your voice. Things that are just honestly respectful to others, enhance the experience for others. But just saying that alone will upset people, because the idea that dressing nice or looking nice is not subjective. I mean, it is, but it also isn't. At its baseline, no, it's not. There are certain styles that differ, and like, honestly, there's some styles people really love in fashion that I look at and my eyes burn, but like, I can respect that, you know, to a degree, as long as it's not vulgar. Like, it's okay, in my opinion. Who cares what I think? But there is a very specific way that people look down on more traditional mindset. And as much as I am in this modern world, I am working, I am, you know, also trying to tend to my home as best I can. I love cooking. I try to cook healthy meals for my family, you know, throughout the week. I am still a modern woman, but I will never let go of my traditional values. And part of those values is etiquette and carrying myself with dignity. And I don't know, you know, let's just be able to be honest here and say that someone who is acting like a fool is acting like a fool. Someone who's dressing and looking like a fool looks like a fool. Does it mean you are not a good person? No, I don't know. Does it mean that, like, you're not valuable? No. It's not that. That's not the topic of conversation here. Talking about people's casual attitude that is not fitting in all circumstances. The way that we oversimplify every single interaction, like dating, like through apps, and everything's instant, everything's fast. We simplified it to the point that now it's more complicated than ever, and the reason it's so complicated is because it doesn't work. So even if you may be judged for wanting to be more elegant, wanting to be more put together, more ladylike, this doesn't mean wearing expensive clothes. This doesn't mean buying a designer handbag. But it's changing your attitude, specifically shifting your habits to be more high quality habits, and therefore you obtain elegance through that. It's not that simple. You do need to also be kind. You need to be compassionate. You need to be self-controlled over all things. I really believe in incorporating stoicism a little bit, even for women, into your public presence, you know? Every single interaction that you have with strangers does not need to be a stage in which you express yourself, like your identity, your everything. Like, you don't need to air out your dirty laundry to a barista. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's okay to just have a dignified and polite interaction based on rules and manners that we've known for so long, and we've just decided recently they all suck, apparently. It's like weird because none of this has elevated my experience. Like, none of this casualness, this comfiness has actually made any of my experiences better anywhere. Maybe it has for you, and maybe you should just stay in your cities that are like that and enjoy it. But for me, like, I want more, and I want better for myself, and I want better for my family. I am gonna wrap this video up, but I think I made my point. What is my point? Elegance is not going to make you popular with the entire world, no. But it feels really good internally. Am I perfect? No. Am I the embodiment of elegance, grace, and sophistication? No. But when I think about those things, I think about being kind, self-controlled, like I was talking about, you know, and dignified, and not just ridiculous. Think about how many times you've put your foot in your mouth, you've said something, or you overthink your interactions throughout the day. Yes, that's anxiety. No one that you're weird to throughout the day really remembers it or cares. No. So those anxieties, you know, they're not necessary, but they are kind of a way for your brain to tell you, like, hey, like, something's actually off. Something's actually not quite right, and we can adjust that. And maybe we'll be happier, and maybe we'll be more sound. And, you know, if you have zero anxiety about who you are, how you behave, if you feel completely confident in whatever you're wearing, however your hair is, you know, whatever, in your attitude and how you treat people, if you literally feel so good about it and so right, don't change anything. But if you do not, and you're like a lot of people that just, no matter what, you're not satisfied, let's start here. Let's start here. And step one is going to be to start scrutinizing yourself. Self-reflection in a non-angry way. Emotions may come up as you think about it, but take some time alone. Isolate yourself a little bit and reflect on yourself. Is your gossiping making you feel icky? Is your, you know, airing out your dirty laundry to people, venting to everyone about your husband, this or that, is that making you feel regret and shame? Maybe it should. Maybe that's what needs to change. You know, if you're out and you see a woman or a man that's dressed nice and you feel upset or insecure, maybe that's your brain telling you, like, hey, like, that could be you too. They're reaching their potential and you are not. You're not even trying. You're not even a little bit. You know, it really does not matter how conventionally good looking you are. I try to say this in my videos so people don't get my message confused, but if you have the most unattractive features, situation on your face, but you present yourself in a sophisticated, dignified manner, like you are kind and polite to people, you are beautiful. It just feels really good to be better than who you once were. You're not competing with anybody but your old self. And I think I've thrown out enough cliches for one video, but I love them and they're true. So I hope you enjoyed this content today. Give this video a like, give this video a little comment, let me know your thoughts, and please subscribe to my channel. Please check my Patreon account if you want to support me a little extra, but even just a regular subscribe is very amazing, so thank you. Welcome to all my new subscribers, and I will see you all in my next video.